Why women love champagne. Welcome to Useful Thoughts. Have you ever noticed how some women are greedy for champagne? I mean, of course, not all women drink alcohol, and not all of them like champagne, but those who do are always having the time of their lives, chatting dressed up with a glass of champagne in one hand and some fancy finger food in the other. It is true that men also enjoy champagne, but most men I know are more into beer or wine. Of course, it has to be real champagne, which is actually labeled as champagne. And these champagne grapes must come from a certain region in France called La Champagne. Only if the grapes come from this Provence, it's champagne. There is other sparkling wine that tastes very similar to champagne called a crémant, which is basically champagne, but just not from that region in France. The bottles look pretty similar, and the taste of the drink is also almost the same. The price for a decent crémant is only a quarter of the price of champagne. Same, but different. Bring your girlfriend a bottle of crémant. She would say, "What's that? Let me see." Oh, it's just a crémant. But at least it's better than a cheap Prosecco, right? What is also remarkable is the design of champagne bottles and the boxes the bottles come in. The design of the bottle communicates luxury, elegance, festivity, as does the box, which has often a more contemporary and more artsy look than the bottle itself. It's exactly what women want: luxury, elegance, mixed with some contemporary artsy-fartsy tiki-taki. Woohoo. Nevertheless, champagne bottles can be seen as jewelry as they sparkle in the same fashion. The typical shape of champagne bottles, in combination with the shape of the cork, suggests a formal reference to the human penis. I always find it a bit distracting pulling out the cork from the shaft. Also, women always want men to open champagne bottles. Think about it. Why do they make us men pop the cork and then fill the glasses? Imagine beer would come in plastic bottles with a round, perky ventile, and we men would ask women to fat beer now, Max. Most women would probably deny because of the sexual reference. However, the other way around is not a problem. Champagne is obviously a product made for women. Men need to buy to make them happy. Of course, the man would have a glass himself, but not so much because of the taste of it, but because it was him who paid for the whole bottle. So he must at least have a sip of it, right? If the man is lucky and the women did not have too much champagne and maybe a strong espresso afterwards on the way home, he might be rewarded afterwards. But since the woman is already so much satisfied with chatter and champagne and food, she will probably decide to go to sleep right away. It is her who can call it a day. The most absurd variant of champagne consumption that I've ever witnessed in my whole life was actually at a funeral. Now, here's a story. As the woman who had passed loved champagne as much as all her bereaved daughter, daughter-in-law, and various best girlfriends, they somehow decided to give champagne as grave goods. Her ashes were buried in a beautiful forest cemetery on a sunny but cold day in early spring. I could not believe my eyes as these ladies actually poured champagne on the open grave while crying in deep pain. Not only was this the most grotesque moment, but I also what would was wondering what would happen to the trees of the roots as they get so many alcohol on it. But first and foremost, I thought champagne must be really important for these women. And then I realized it. For them, having champagne was an act of love. I personally don't like champagne for various reasons. Reason number one, I don't like the taste. It's too sour. It's not that it tastes bad, But the taste is so dominant and stays in the mouth for so long, it ruins the taste of most foods or other drinks that come after. Besides, for me, there's only a handful of dishes that fit to champagne. Reason number two, the champagne alcohol makes me stupid. Beer can also make me stupid if I drank too much, but nothing makes me more bananas like 2 or 3 glasses of champagne. Reason number three, champagne is far too expensive. 50 euros a bottle of supermarket quality champagne is a high price for something that tastes just okay. For the same money, one could buy 3 bottles of decent wine or even 40 bottles of beer. That's it. That's actually everything I have to tell you about champagne. For women, it is love. For men, it's an expense. Please, if you liked the video, give it a like. And if you want to see me again, you can subscribe to the channel. See you next time.